Okay, what we have here today, it's my own personal vehicle. It's a 2009 Volkswagen Tiguan with the TSI engine, which is a 4-cylinder, turbocharged, direct injection. And this particular one, it has the timing chain on it. So this is the first year with the engine with the timing chain. Alright, so it's got 230,000 kilometers. And what I've been right now, I have the VACCOM hooked up to it, and so I'm gonna start it up. I have issues right now. It says that I have no fault codes because I have erased them, so the fault codes are not there. But I have an issue with the engine misfiring when cold. Right now it's only at 1 degree Celsius, so it's not very cold, but sometime it does it and sometime it doesn't. So I'm gonna go in advanced value, choose a coolant temperature, and choose the 4 cylinders individually. Alright, so it's only at minus 1 degree Celsius, the engine itself. Only one difference between what it says it's outside the vehicle. So anyway, I'm going to start it up. There's one miss on number 4, but it doesn't do it all the time. And when I drive the vehicle, it not necessarily shows some misfires. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it doesn't. But it feels rough. You can feel that the vehicle is not, working like it should. So so this morning, what I'm going to be doing, going to be removing the intake manifold to have a look if there is any carbon buildup on all the 4 cylinders on the intake valve. And so I'm going to give it a little bit of gas. No. So there's no misfires this morning. So anyway, I'll and what we've done to this vehicle when I got it, I replaced all 4 spark plugs because I didn't know, what kilometers the previous owner had installed it. And also I noticed that there was 3 coil packs that were newer than 1. So on the number 4 cylinder there was older coil, so I put a brand new coil on the number 4 cylinder. And then and what I did, I drove it like that, but then there was a little bit of misfiring, or the engine would not run right. So I drove it like that. I knew that it had the extended warranty for the injectors, so I drove it until it was really bad. And so I had the local dealer replace all 4 injectors. The intake manifold had already been replaced through an extended warranty also. So these items have been replaced. But now it's probably like 80% better. But sometimes when it idles, the check engine flashes, and then it makes a multiple or cylinder misfire on number 4. So right now this morning it's okay. So that's why I'm saying it's intermittent. Sometimes it will do it and sometimes it doesn't. It depends of the outside temperature, the engine temperature, and all these things. And the type of gas that I use is the best quality that I can get here. So anyway, I'll be and also what I've done, compression tests. And the compression is at 185 pounds, pretty much all 4 cylinders. So I know mechanically the engine is okay. And I also swapped these. I checked the spark plugs, visually again, just to make sure that they were okay. And so I swapped the number 4 and number 1, and also no, it's the coil that I swapped from number 1 to number 4. And also I swapped the spark plug from number 3 to number 4, and also I installed 2 new coils. So now right now all the coils are brand new, and they're the same part number. It still does the misfire on the number 4. So the only conclusion is maybe it has more carbon buildup on that number 4 intake valve. So no, I'll be checking this today, and that's the only way to know, is to remove it and have a look at it. Okay, as an example, been driving. It's the engine temperature is 67 degrees Celsius, and right now the cylinder number 4 has 5 misfires. C8, C9. So when I drive it, I can feel it, but this right now everything is at 0. If I drive it really without really stepping on the gas much, sometimes I feel it and it doesn't show in the misfire count, but most of the time it's the number 4 that has more miss. So it's odd, like when I was driving it was doing it, and sometimes it doesn't do it. So it's kind of frustrating, you can't really replicate the misfires at will, but it's there. Right now I purposely I don't rev it, because I know it wants to misfire more at lower RPM when there's more torque applied to the engine. Pressing the gas more. No, really not right now. It's probably the engine is maybe too hot now to do it, but at around 60 degrees Celsius, that's kind of the sweet spot where it wants to misbehave, if you will. But anyway, by the way, the normal temperature for the thermostat to keep the engine temperature at usually is around 95 degrees Celsius. See, right now it's at 90, and the only way to know if a thermostat is okay is to go for a drive with a scan tool and check to make sure that the coolant temperature goes up to its normal temperature. So right now I've been driving for a little while. These engines, they get hot real quick compared to a diesel engine. I have lots of experience driving diesel engines, and they take quite a longer time to get up to temperature. So right now this one is at normal temperature. It's 95 degrees Celsius. Usually it will stay there while driving, but if the engine is idling in the summer, let's say, it will go higher. So right now it's at 97, but it does that before the thermostat opens, and then it's probably gonna settle between 94 and 95. That's what I'm kind of used to see for this vehicle. So anyway, I'm heading to the garage now, and I'll be taking it apart and show you guys. Then again, this one has 149,000 kilometers. I don't know if the intake valves has ever been cleaned, but I know that the intake manifold has been replaced before I got the vehicle. So did they clean the intake valve when they had the intake manifold off? I would be very surprised. Anyway, so I don't have all the information on this vehicle since it was new, but I know that it does misfire, and it never ran perfectly since I got it. So now this time I want to have a look at it and see how bad it is, you know, and clean it and see if it helps. If it doesn't help, then, you know, I have another issue somewhere. But, you know, it's got new injectors, new plugs, new coils, you know, it's got pretty much everything that it needs. So then we'll have a look at it and see. Okay, now I'm arriving at the garage. So this is where I work. It's a 2-bay garage. We have another bay in the back for storage and stuff like that. But, alright, so I'll get the vehicle in and we'll commence the disassembly. Alright, so that's my 2009 Tiguan. So it's going in today to have the intake manifold removed. I'm going to remove it and see if I have a carbon buildup problem or what. And so this is the shop where I work. We have a 2-bay, so it have 2 lifts. The first lift here is Nussbaum. It's made in Germany. So it's like a scissor lift with these extension. It extends for a longer wheelbase vehicle. So that's what we. This is the shop where I work at. So I'm gonna get this vehicle in, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, so right now I have the intake manifold removed. In order to remove the intake manifold, you have to remove the oil filter. I put it back on, so I didn't want any debris to fall into the engine. So I put it back in. So the intake manifold is removed with the 4 injectors. So this is the intake manifold. This one already had been replaced, and it's got 4 brand new injectors. Okay, so that was done at the dealer, and you could see that, you know, there's some, you know, carbon buildup here. The little dividers, I have them here. The little dividers, I'm gonna take a little light here. As you can see, there is some carbon buildup on these dividers. See, there's carbon. I don't know if it shows well or not, but you can see the carbon here. You know, they're all dirty. This one here, it's all dirty. And also the intake valve. I was told by the dealer that the intake valve were clean and everything was okay. As we can see the number 4 cylinder, that's the one that was misfiring the most. And I guess it's probably the one that has maybe the most, I guess, carbon buildup. It's not necessarily on the valve themselves, it's around the valve. I don't know if you can see this or not. See, that's the number 4 cylinder. You can see a lot of carbon behind it, so it, you know, the flow of air is not 100%, especially the one on the left side there, both sides. And then this is the other number 3, number 2, and number 1. So I don't know if it shows well or not, but so these are the 4 cylinders. I've noticed that this engine did not have the bracket that holds the intake manifold. I guess it was removed either the last time or the time before when they replaced the intake manifold. I'm not going to complain because it was much easier to remove. So yeah, so there's a bracket usually that bolts on the bottom of the block. I can see the right below where the oil pump is, not the oil pump, the water pump. So this is the water pump on these models. Is driven by a shaft, and so I can see where the bolt was, and so this one did not have the bracket, so I have no bracket for that. So in order to remove the intake manifold, you got to remove the pipe that goes up to the bottom of the intercooler, up to the throttle body. I removed the throttle body. It was fairly easy to remove, and remove all the bolts. And here, this is the fitting union that fits on the high pressure fuel pump. And this is what I guess gets a lot of problem on these models. I think this is the sensor, the position sensor for the flap. This is vacuum actuated with that solenoid on top. And so when this solenoid gets vacuum on this actuator, it moves the intake flap. You can see they move away. And this particular sensor here, you can't replace it separately, and this is why they have to remove they have to install the complete intake manifold. So so last time these 4 injector has been replaced. Other than that, so I removed the air box. Throttle body is here. I'm probably going to clean it. It's kind of dirty on the other side. I've removed the negative side of the battery for now, and I've put this is like a cover where when we receive new mass airflows, it has a cover to protect it. So I put this here with a clamp, so it to prevent from dirt or screws or whatever to fall into the engine. I'm going to be cleaning, testing with walnut blasting on this particular engine. So we'll see how good it cleans, and we'll go from there. So we'll, and this is where the union fits on the high pressure fuel pump. This is where it goes. There is, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, I guess 5, 6, 7. Right, yeah. 5 or 7 bolts like this that holds the intake manifold into place, and there's 2 studs. These 2 studs are guides, so when you put the intake manifold in, it slides in and the injector will fit into the cylinder head like this. And so it's 2 10mm nut. They're M6 threads, but the head of the nut is a 10mm socket. So you got to remove these 2. It's probably a good idea to put anti-seize on these bolts in order to, if we you want to come back and clean the intake valve so it's not stuck or nothing like that. So it would be a good idea. So then again, and also what I've done here, this is the tool that I use to remove these coils. You don't necessarily need it, but it's much easier, especially when you have these coil has been there for quite a while. See, I have a brand new coil on number 4 cylinder, number 3, okay, and I have 4 brand new spark plugs. They're 15,000 kilometers old, and so right now all coils are brand new, and I switched from the number 1 coil to the number 4 because this was number 4. You can see 4 dots, and so I switched both coils. And also I switched spark plug number 3 and number 4 just to see if it was a coil pack issue or a spark plug. So it continues to misfire on number 4. Then again, I also did a compression test, and the compression test is very even. It has around 185 pounds pressure per cylinder. So the compression is perfect. So anyway, I'm going to clean the intake valve, and then we'll see if it makes a difference or not. I've seen worse picture than that on the net and on YouTube and all that stuff, but I guess it's probably enough to make it run bad. Okay, now I'm finished cleaning all intake valve. So what I've done here, I first removed the intake manifold. Okay, so I removed the intake manifold. And then what I did, I started on the number 4 cylinder. Now I finished the number 1, so I went the other way around. It doesn't matter, you know, which cylinder you use first. What I use for tool, I have this media blaster, just a cheap one. This is the media that I use. Is crushed walnut shells, so that's what it is, and just a regular, you know, shop vac. And the other thing, what I use, I had like a shop vac that had a hose in it, because this one, it was used for like a wet shop vac for cleaning like carpets and stuff. So what I did, I inserted a copper pipe into it, so that the end here is kind of flexible too. And this is the end of the sandblasting tool. So this is the pipe, the inlet for the media. And then I use a rubber hose, I slipped it over it. And so what I did, I use this, the vacuum is running, and then I blow it with the media. And as an example, I finish here on cylinder number 1. Okay, I don't know if it's going to show well, but this is cylinder number 1, and so it's all clean. I also use a flat screwdriver and a little pick to just scrape the excess off first, and then I use the vacuum to remove the big amounts, and then I finish it off with the sandblasting tool. And also what I did is on the holes for the where the 4 injectors goes, I use some rubber hoses, and I just stuck them into the ports, okay, like this. So it's just prevent you know, some dirt to fall into the cylinder in the engine actually. So, and also if you have these hoses removed, see I did remove both of them there. And also I use some painter's tape, okay. So as soon as I had finished with one, I just put more tape. So because when these valves are closed, some of the valve are still open. So you don't want you know, nutshells falling to the cylinder. So I'm going to remove the tape here. Okay. So see, all the 4-cylinder is done. What I did also, I unplugged the connector here. I unplugged the connector on the starter. I use just a jumper wire. And what I did is to find if the valve were closed, you know, completely. As an example, the number 1 here is closed, but I could use the number 4 as a guide, okay. And I put my finger into the hole where the injector goes, and I bump the starter until I feel compression. See there? So there's compression on number 4. So now I know the valve is closed. Also what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin it. Maybe if there's some dirt, it's going to shoot out of the injector holes. So I'm going to just turn the engine a couple of turns. See, that pushes the dirt out. Okay, so that's what I did. I turned the starter until I started from the number 4 cylinder, 3, 2, 1, and then so all of them are clean now. If you remember, the number 4 was pretty dirty. See, that's all clean. Number 3, 2, and the number 1. So that's all nice now. So I'm gonna reinstall the intake manifold, and also what I did, also I cleaned the separators here. I used the blasting tool also. See, they're all clean. So all 4 of them are like this, and they go into the cylinder head. There's only one way they would go. If you put it like this, that works. But if you go the other way around, I don't think it's gonna go. See, it's not gonna go flush. Okay, so you gotta turn it this way. All right, so you make sure that all of them are installed, and I'm gonna clean also my throttle body at the same time, and the intake manifold, it's okay. And you just gotta make sure also when you install the intake manifold that these flaps are not hooked on the dividers, you know. So I guess when you have it pushed in, you just make sure that it functions normally. So it just goes to its normal resting position here. So other than that, I hope that the engine's gonna run much better. You know, I've seen pictures of these engines with much more carbon buildup, but that's just going to prove, you know, everything else is perfect. You know, the spark plugs, compression, coils, the injectors are new, so everything is pretty much perfect. So we'll see if just by cleaning this like that, if it's going to help my issue with the, you know, misfires, especially on number 4. And then when it doesn't really misfire, it doesn't run smooth. It's kind of, you know, intermittent. So anyway, what I did also, I use a rubber plug to plug the crankcase ventilation to prevent stuff falling in. And also I did this for the intake part of it. Put a cap here, a plastic cap, so just to prevent, you know, things falling into the engine. And other than that, that went pretty good. Yeah, it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit messy. Obviously, I don't have the proper tool that fits on the cylinder head, but I like it that way because I can see where the spray of particle goes to clean. But you also have to wear safety glass because, you know, the media bounces back to you. So you just go and you take an air hose like this, and then you just, you know, clean the engine as much as you can. And I vacuum the floor, and it's much better like this than using a lot of chemicals, and it smells, you know, quite bad. And also if you use a lot of chemicals, sometimes the carbon will get very gunky, and it's going to be very hard to remove. So if it stays dry, it's much better. And after I have finished, I made sure the valve was closed, and also used some brake cleaner. Just I sprayed some brake cleaner in there, and I use the air gun, and just, you know, spray all along the valve, and, you know, it remove all the, you know, particle and everything. Just make sure everything is clean. So then we'll see how it runs after after I have put it back together. Some fault codes. Alright, so I have no fault codes. I'm gonna do the basic setting for the throttle body. See, it says ADP OK. So the throttle body is okay, the adaptation. Go out, check if there's faults again, and I'm gonna prepare myself for coolant temperature, and I'm gonna put it where the cylinder misfire. So I've turned the key on and off 2-3 times just to put the pressure in the fuel rail. So now what I'm gonna do, it's a 6-speed car, so I'm gonna press a clutch and I'm gonna start it. There was a lot of misfire on number 1. That might have get maybe some brake cleaner and stuff like that. on startup, let's see. So it says random misfire. You know, it started, you know, it was, cylinders were dirty and stuff like that, and the fuel rail was empty. So I'm just gonna erase them. So right now I'm okay. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the cylinder misfire counter. Choose 1, 2, 3, and 4. So right now it's idling. Everything seems to be okay. So I'm gonna go and have a look, make sure I have no leak. So I have some faults right now because I have the battery unplugged. So I have the tire pressure monitoring, the traction control, and the steering wheel. So I'm gonna do a full scan on all the computers, erase all the faults. Most of them are created because it's a low voltage. So we're gonna go in front and see, make sure that we have no fuel leaks, especially here where the connection is made on the high pressure fuel pump. Everything seems to be okay. Everything is hooked up. Just gonna make sure that the coils are fully seated. Alright, so I'm gonna put the cover back on. Alright, so that's good. Looks good. So I'm going to go for a test drive and see if I have some improvements. So right now it's idling. Has no faults, no miss. But it's going to take a couple of days of driving and see if it made a real difference or not. Seems to respond good. I don't see no misfires there. So anyway, I'm gonna back it out. I don't want it to get too hot, because when the engine is completely hot, it runs pretty good sometimes. So that's that. So I'll do a full scan and see what happens. Okay, now this is time for the road test. See, the coolant temperature is at 72, 73 and climbing. So I'm gonna go and test drive it and see if it still has some misfire. It's not completely full temperature, but usually would have been the number 4 would misfire. Not gonna rev it too much, because usually it was more at the lower RPM. It would do that. Sixth gear. So we'll see. Then again, it's gonna take a couple days of driving to really see a different situation, different temperature. Right now it's not very cold. It was doing it a little bit more when the outside temperature was colder, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know. But anyway, can't harm cleaning the intake valve, especially the number 4 was quite dirty, so it makes sense that it was misfiring more on number 4. So we'll see. Full throttle right now, so there's no miss. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see. There's number 3, a couple miss there. So that's it for now.